Okay, so I'm recording now, and now I'll share my screen. Okay, so let's do a new scene. Then I'll grab this from art. And now I'll import this into the scene. So to import, I'm just going to File, Import, and then you need to select which which object it was. So for yours it was obj, which is right here. And there we go. Alright. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this building to the top of the screen so I can move it around the ground. So I have these weird add-ons. So let's see, tab. Let me try disabling the add-ons. Preferences. Pi. Okay. Turn off pi. Okay. And then I'm going to re-import that obj. Okay, cool. So go into the building here, and I want to set this as the origin. So I think I can. What is the tool to set this as origin? I think I have to shift right click. So I shift right click and I set the cursor here. And now I'm going to go to Object and set origin to 3D cursor. So now this is where the origin is. If I turn on snapping, I can bring this back up to
nice.
the level pretty easily. You know,
It's not lining up.
it's not lining up. What is this? Shift S. So Shift S. Okay, now I'm gonna do is I hit Shift S. I'm gonna do cursor to world origin, and that brings that cursor back here. So now when I press G, I think this will line up. It doesn't line up. That's weird. Very sad. I don't know why. Let me rotate and see. Yeah, it's rotating on that point. Well, that's nice. Okay. I'm just gonna manually drag it back here. Okay. Like that. And now I want to apply any transformations I did. So object, apply, and apply all transforms. Now I want to also I'll probably just grab him and bring him up here. Oh. And I'll set his origin to his center, origin to geometry. So now these origins are at the center of the geometry. They were somewhere else. Okay. So for building an environment, in a short amount of time, I'm thinking that what we could do is possibly just build a ring. So to build a ring, I'll start with just the assets that you have, and maybe we'll have like a bunch of buildings surrounding our center. So the first thing that I could do is take this building and apply a modifier to it, and that modifier is a array. And in the array, I can choose how many buildings I have, and I can also choose what direction they're moved on. So whenever I move this, I'll just affect that so I can
Yeah.
move it up and down. Constant offsets. And I will right now just put it in 1. So they're all next to each other, and give it a slight offset so there's a room between these buildings. So, and we got something like this.
Can you rotate them one after, like, can you have each subsequent one be rotated 180 degrees along the z-axis?
Each one of these rotated. Well, there's a way to do that. What I wanted to do was also insert a. I want to insert a circle to have them all rotate and face the center of the circle. So what I was going to do is go into Shift A to add in a curve. And in the curve, I was going to choose a circle. Now I should see, scale this up, this circle here. Now I will bring this out to the edge of the circle. What I'll do here is add a modifier, not to the circle, but to this, of, it's like it's curve. Yeah, curve. So then I'll choose the object I want to curve to. So I can just choose the circle. And then I gotta figure out how to get it back to the right spot. I'll put it in the center. Let me try clearing that location first. Okay, deform axis, let's see, Y, Z, do Y. And then I'll need to try and rotate these. There you go, rotate them in the Y. So now they're all facing the center. And then I can just go into my array here and just add enough. Get me there. And I could do the math to figure out how many I needed to close this, but I'll just play with the offset to get something I like. So I can call this like my boss arena. The one thing is that I'm not getting these secondary faces, and it would be nice to have like a rotation between each one. What I'm probably just going to do is look up from the top, duplicate this, okay, and then in this one here, because we have 2 versions of these, we have 1 and 2, I'm going to take these buildings and just rotate them around. So then I'll have one ring that's facing one way and one ring that's facing the other way.
Yeah.
So I will go hit tab, go back into this, and I'll rotate this now, just this face, 180 degrees on I think this is right. Let me see. Now it's upside down. So not that, let's see. Okay, so it starts like that. That's good, so I need to go rotate 180. Not, it must be the X. Yeah. Now I will do about half of these. So instead of 30, I'll do 15. And then I'll just change this offset here.
Yeah, and then just slide the other one in between.
Yeah. And then go back to this one and 16. And then let's see. Maybe it needs to be 15. It seems like there's too many. Right there. No. I'm just gonna actually have to duplicate my ring, so I'll have B1 and B2, And one of them will be attached to B1 and one will be attached to B2. So that's it. I'll put inward and outward. So inward is on B2. I'm going to change that to B1. Now I can take B1 and I can rotate B1. Let's see. Yes, I can rotate. Oh, why? Not why. I thought I could just rotate it. B1's the curve, right? It doesn't like it. Okay. Huh. I can take... Now I gotta figure out which one to do. Maybe I'll just take this one. I'm seeing what it is. Okay, that's the answer. So I take the building and I press G and I'm rotating along the y-axis now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. That makes so much sense. Okay. So now the buildings are all overlapping. So G, Y, and get them in the middle. And then to have them fill out that circle, can I just do no? No. We'll figure this out one day. These offsets are a little weird. Oh yeah, because they have different sizes. Okay. So that's what is that the one I needed? Maybe not. Well, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Let's go to G and the Y. No. I'm gonna go back to 15. I'm gonna see if that does it. Offset of 15, offset of 15, make these easier, G of the Y, yeah, okay, there we go. It's because they were different values. Okay, so now I'm gonna press F to zoom into my character. Maybe that's a different one I don't have. Okay, I'm gonna zoom into my character now and kind of see what it's looking like in the area. Okay.
Yeah, I see.
I don't know if this is the right size or if I want the play area to be bigger, so this is something to play test. But
yeah.
I imagine you probably want it larger. So let's see. I think it was scale. Oh, that's kind of cool.
It was G, wasn't it? Oh.
Yeah, G. Who knows? Okay. We'll leave this for now. Okay. Now I'm also gonna add in a ground, and this is actually a little bit difficult to see, so what I'm gonna do is go on the top here and add on random. And I'm gonna copy this and copy this and then hide them. And I'll take these two and I will apply this. And apply this. Okay. And Control J, I'm going to join all of these, and then now I'm going to split them up. So, right click, I'm going to separate by loose parts, and now I have all of these buildings here, and they're all completely separate.
Okay.
So what I did is I applied all of the modifiers first. I applied the curve and the array, and then after I applied them, I selected both of them, and by hitting Control and J, you can join them as one unit.
Yep.
And then I went into edit mode, and I pressed A, and A selects all faces. So you can select them like this, or you could, you know, select everything like that. But A just selects all of your vertices or points.
Okay.
And then I right-clicked, and I wanted to make these different meshes. So I wanted to separate them. So I want to separate, and you can do separate by section, which is if you selected like one of these buildings, then you'd get a new mesh just by what you separated. By material, if these had different materials, you get different separations, or by loose parts. And loose parts would be, you can see we have faces connected here. If we had two faces joined together at the side, like, let's make this plane here is one loose part, and no matter how many times I extrude it, you know, it's always one. As soon as I delete something here, now we have, you know, a couple of separate loose parts. So that's what it means by loose parts.
Okay.
So right click, separate by loose parts. Now we have all of these buildings here. Very nice. Okay. And now we have different colors on them. So what I'm going to do is get into object mode here, and then something like maybe, I don't like this one, so I'll delete that building. And then kind of just put that there. Maybe, I don't need these curves, so I can hide those. Select these, not those. And going to Shift D, duplicate these, rotate them a little bit, maybe a little bit more, and then scale them. I'm going to hit Shift on Z, so I'm constraining it. When I hold Shift and press Z, that means that I'm going to scale it everywhere but the Z direction.
I see.
So if you see this.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think I might have messed that up. So Shift Z. There we go. That's everything but the Z direction. But they're getting kind of deformed here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just scale them normally. And then Shift D again. Rotate slightly, and scale it up. So now we're getting this whole city that's behind you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Some of these, there's not that much variance between them. I think I could go into here, and if I want to keep this, I can go in and, let's see, can I just bevel some? How's that gonna look? Maybe not. Maybe I don't like that. Okay. now I'll create just a simple ground for visualizing this. I'll create a plane and I'll scale that. Let's go 100 just to get a little bit of this here. Okay. So now we have our simple environment for the boss fight. You know, at this point here, kind of want to look around and see, like, this might be good for like one-on-one combat.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit too small. So if I wanted to use this area, maybe I'd want to build up and have the boss fight go into the air. So let's see, if I wanted to do that, the only mechanic that I really care about right now is grinding. So what I might do is create a second curve, and I'll use a Bezier curve. And I'll grab this with G, I think. Let me scale it up a bit. Okay. And with this curve, what I can actually do is go in and give it some depth. So, not this one. Geometry. And fill caps closes the ends. I'll close the ends. G, and then just start raising this up. Okay. Hitting tab, I can work with this and hit R like normal. I can rotate this. Rotate this maybe like that. Rotate this, you know, like this. And if you see there's these two lines, that tells how far it follows. So by bringing it closer, you can get some pretty sharp turns. Let's see, G. And you can also scale it along this too. You can select these points. And then you press E to extrude. So you can have some pretty sharp turns, but it doesn't look very very smooth. So you can rotate it. It's still sharp, but maybe I want it a bit smoother. So I bring these out. Rotate this here. Bring it up a little bit. And E. Scale that in. And just kind of E. Like this, you know, I can keep kind of doing this. And start building out something with a lot of control. And maybe scale this out so it gets a little bit nicer. And like that. So that's one way. This is nice for building one mesh, but if I wanted to make something repeatable, I would probably delete these, delete this, and then just start creating like small segments. So like straight pieces and curved pieces, and then connecting them together. But I'd probably have to think about the space that they occupy. So probably think that if I was making cubes, I'd want cubes that have similar constraints. So if I put them next to each other, you know, they look fairly uniform. But I think we should be fine by making most of our pipes out of like one piece. What I was going to do was actually what we could probably do is add the same feature. So like let's add a modifier. Let's add a second array, and probably need to object and apply all transforms. No, not that. Oh, the origin must be different. Okay, so set origin to geometry origin. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, I got a meeting starting in 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So then, if you're gonna do this, let's say here, boom, go with cylinders.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just start building like pipes out, or actually, I use the curves. Use the curves. I'd say you can use the curves and manually move them. If you have it, let me get really quick here. You can go to grease pencil, draw out a shape. As you can't really see this, let's have the radius up. Go to grease pencil and draw a shape like this, and then hit tab out. And then when you click on tab out, you have to hit Control tab, object mode, and now you can do object, and you want to convert grease pencil to mesh line. It's not giving me that. Okay. Object, convert grease pencil to mesh line, and now you have a mesh line out of this, and then you can go here to skin here, and then boom, you've ended up with this, and then add a subdivide to it. Subdivide surface, not solidify. Subdivide surface. So you can just do that, and then you can draw out all of the curves that you want with grease pencil, and immediately convert them into geometry and just give it like a second subdivision.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. It is 8. I need to run.
All right.
You recorded this, right?